A young woman from a wealthy family was always copying the latest fashion trends of the rich and famous. She thought that if she dressed like them, she would be just as happy and successful as they were. But it didn't work out that way. The more she copied them, the more unhappy she became. She realized that she was only copying their exterior lives, not their interior lives, which is what really mattered. She learned that true happiness comes from within, not from what you wear or how much money you have. I know it might seem like a good idea to copy the rich and successful, but trust me, it's not. I learned this the hard way. I was born into a wealthy family and had every opportunity to succeed. But instead of finding my own path in life, I copied what my parents and their friends did. I went to the same schools, joined the same clubs, and got involved in the same businesses. And while I made a lot of money, I was never truly happy. I realized that I was living someone else's life instead of my own. And so I made a change. I started doing things that interested me, meeting new people, and exploring different parts of the world. It was scary at first, but it was also exhilarating. And for the first time in my life, I felt like I was truly alive. The rich have always been a target for those who want to copy them. It seems like every time someone new comes into money, there are people who want to copy their every move. But copying the rich is a surefire way to stay broke. The rich got where they are by being smart with their money. They know how to save and invest. They don't spend recklessly. And they certainly don't copy other people. When you copy the rich, you're not just copying their lifestyle, you're also copying their mindset. And that's a recipe for disaster. The rich think differently about money than most people do. They understand that wealth is created through hard work and discipline, not through copying others. So if you want to be wealthy yourself, the last thing you should do is copy the rich. Instead, focus on developing your own unique financial strategy. One that works for you and your goals. Only then will you be able to achieve true financial success. There was once a very wealthy man who lived in a big house with lots of expensive things. He had a beautiful wife and wonderful children. Everyone in the neighborhood wanted to be like him. They would copy the way he dressed, the way he talked, and even the way he walked. One day, one of the man's neighbors decided to copy him in every way possible. He bought the same clothes, drove the same car, and even decorated his house to look exactly like the wealthy man's. The only problem was that he didn't have nearly as much money as the rich man did. One day, the rich man invited his neighbor over for dinner. The poor man was so excited that he went out and bought an expensive suit to wear to the dinner party. When he arrived at the rich man's house, he realized that everyone there was wearing casual clothes. He was the only one wearing expensive outfit for the occasion. They were having a discussion at the dinner table. It was then that the poor man's lifestyle was exposed because he could not keep up with the conversation because he has not been exposed to their level of influence and wealth. The rich man had just been testing his neighbor to see if he would blindly copy everything he did without thinking for himself first. The moral of this story is that you should never blindly copy someone else, especially if they are wealthier than you are. You might end up making some foolish choices that you'll regret later on. There's no sugarcoating it, failure sucks. But it's also an inevitable part of life. At some point, we all face setbacks and disappointments. The key is to learn from your failures and use them as motivation to keep moving forward. For the rich, failure is often seen as a badge of honor. It's proof that they're willing to take risks and put themselves out there. And it's this mindset that separates the successful from the unsuccessful. Successful people view failure as a necessary stepping stone on the path to success. They see it as an opportunity to learn and grow. They use their failures as motivation to keep going, even when things get tough. So if you're facing failure right now, don't despair. Embrace it and use it as motivation to keep moving forward toward your goals. Different between rich and poor. There is a big difference between rich and poor men. Poor men have to work hard all their lives just to get by, while rich men can enjoy a life of luxury and ease. Poor men are always worrying about money, while rich men never have to worry about money. Poor men have to scrimp and save every penny, while rich men can spend money freely. Poor men always have to worry about their health and whether they can afford medical care, while rich men never have to worry about their health. In short, life is much easier for rich men than it is for poor men. Struggles of rich man. The struggles of a rich man are often unseen and unspoken of. Behind the facade of wealth and privilege, there lies a life of struggle and hardship. The rich man is constantly under pressure to maintain his image and position. He is always seeking to acquire more wealth and power, while at the same time trying to protect what he has. His life is a never-ending battle to stay on top. The rich man lives in a world of constant stress and anxiety. He is always worried about losing his money or his status. He is constantly comparing himself to other wealthy people and measuring his own success against theirs. This can be a very isolating and lonely existence. The rich man's life is not an easy one. Behind the scenes, he is struggling just like everyone else. But because of his wealth and position, he has to maintain a facade of perfection. It's a difficult life, but one that he would not trade for anything else. For the rich man, there is always the worry that someone will find out about his struggles and take advantage of him. He lives in a world where trust is hard to come by and betrayal is always around the corner. It's a lonely existence, but one that comes with a lot of responsibility. The rich man must be constantly on guard, always ready to defend what he has. It's a difficult life, but one that comes with its own set of rewards. Why you should not copy a rich man. There are many reasons why you should not copy a rich man. 1. The rich are often very different from the rest of us. They live in a different world and have access to different resources. As a result, they often have a different perspective on life. What works for them may not work for you. 2. The rich man's lifestyle is often not sustainable. He may have all the money in the world, but he can't keep up his lavish lifestyle forever. Sooner or later, he will run out of money and be forced to change his ways. 3. Copying a rich man is simply not realistic for most of us. We don't have the same resources or opportunities that they do. We can't just mimic their lifestyle and expect to be successful. We need to find our own way in life and create our own success stories. 4. They can use their money to buy influence and power, and they can use their resources to exploit the poor and vulnerable. Additionally, the rich often have a lot of privileges that they enjoy that the rest of us don't. 5. They may have access to better education, healthcare, and other opportunities that we don't. 6. They have different values, different lifestyles, and different priorities. What works for them may not work for us. 7. The rich often have access to resources that the rest of us don't. They can afford to hire expert advisors, they can buy information that the rest of us can't access, and they can take risks that we can't afford to take. 8. Copying a rich man is likely to lead to envy and resentment. The rich man's success may make us feel bad about ourselves, and we may start to resent him for having what we want. The rich man have a different problem that when you copy them you might not be able to cope. The struggles of a rich man are often hidden from the public eye. While it may seem like they have everything, the truth is that they often face many challenges that others can't even imagine. From managing their finances to dealing with family drama, the wealthy have to deal with a lot of stress and pressure. It can be difficult to maintain their lifestyle and keep up appearances while also dealing with all of the challenges that come with being rich. There's nothing wrong with being inspired by a rich man. In fact, it can be a great way to find your own personal fashion sense. However, there's a big difference between being inspired by someone and copying them outright. If you're always copying other people, you'll never find your own voice. You need to be true to yourself and find your own unique way of doing things. There's nothing wrong with taking inspiration from others, but don't copy them blindly. Instead, use that inspiration to figure out what works best for you. Otherwise, you'll always be a second-rate version of someone else. Thank you for watching. Hope you have enjoyed the video. Please click on subscribe, share, and like our video. Don't forget to click on the notification button so that you don't miss out on our next video.